Why is gold so valuable, and why has it been the most precious metal for thousands of years?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the history of gold.
Yeah.
And why
Well, one of the
still?
reasons, remember, so, we had dinner the other night. A couple of people there are these treasure hunters that were at the dinner with us. Remember?
Wait, who?
It was Billy Zane and his partner, this guy. I don't know if you know the other guy, but that's how come I came to that dinner.
By the way, you know who Billy Zane is?
I don't. I know Billy Mays.
He played the
on the Titanic.
he
was
played
the
the
bad guy.
the bad guy in Titanic.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Yeah,
Well, I don't
in
hate
real
the
life in
actor.
Titanic.
Yeah,
By the
yeah.
way, I was gonna tell him that. I was gonna be like, "Yo, fuck you in
He
Titanic."
represents a horrible part of my childhood.
Yeah.
But that means he did a good
But he was
job.
he
with
was
the
at
role.
this dinner.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He did a good job of the role. If
He's
you
a
hate him
treasure
for his
hunter.
character.
100%. He's a treasure hunter.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. One of the things they're doing.
What?
But they look for ships that sunk 500 years ago, like off, and they go and they try to get the gold.
Kind of ironic,
And-
huh?
Wait, is that why they were there with you?
Titanic.
Well, that's one of the reasons I went there, because I think Brock wanted me to meet them because he's also interested. They want to
Okay.
do a reality show also on the treasure ships when they're looking for sunken treasure.
He needs to talk
But-
to these people. I wouldn't mind spending some time on a
But-
boat.
What am I finding a treasure?
But the point of this is, if they find these ships that sunk 500 years ago and they find the gold, it will look exactly the way it looked the day it sunk. That is one of the properties of gold, right? Gold does not tarnish. It does not decay. It is exactly the same, at any point in the future. I mean, the gold we're pulling out of the ground that was there 1 billion years ago, I mean, that's the same gold. And gold also has lots of properties as a metal that other metals don't have, as far as how ductile it is, or different things that you can do with it, how conductive it is for electricity. So there's a reason that gold is in jewelry. I mean, my watch is not made of copper, right? There's a reason that
are we
it's made out
are
of
we
gold.
stupid? Are we stupid because we like it because it's shiny?
Well, that's also a good thing, right? It's shiny, right? I mean,
But that's what I
Well,
was
like, why do we
it's
care?
pretty.
Like we're
Because
flying
that's
towards the
it.
light. We're a
Because
bug
that's-
flying towards the light, dude.
That was the question.
but being beautiful, being aesthetically pleasing is valuable to human beings.
So
I mean,
fuck
it's something
other
that we
people.
We
like.
get it.
I feel you.
Right, I
feel
mean,
what you're saying.
look at all these, these rap stars or these guys that have all their bling. I mean, it's all gold. I mean, they like the way it looks. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't wear it. But gold has properties other metals don't have, and that's why it has the value it has. But it's also very scarce. There's not as much gold as there is, let's say, other metals that are out there.
What if gold gets replaced? Like, we're in this weird time where we're seeing this transition of value to what could be called perceived value. It's really scary, and it's scary for people who've held these traditional beliefs their whole life. Like, there's gold, which is worth this much money because of its use cases.
Right.
Then there's Bitcoin fiat, which someone told you is worth this amount of money. It's not worth anything.
Bitcoin is worth what somebody will pay you for it, right? Obviously, right? But somebody will only buy your Bitcoin because they think they can sell it to somebody else. And that somebody else will only buy it because they think they can sell it to somebody else. So it's all like a pyramid.
Arbitrage.
But the other thing about gold that's important to know is that gold can be used over and over and over again. So most commodities, you buy the commodity, you use it, it's done, right? So like I have this watch is made of gold.
Down.
You can melt this down and get the gold back and do something else with it. You could go, if you
forever.
you dig up an old coffin, there's a skeleton down there with some gold fillings. You could take the fillings out, melt them down, and it's exactly the same, right?
It's a little
you can
heartbreaking.
use it. So, but the thing is,
Fucked up.
the value of gold today is basically the present value of all the future uses discounted to today, because you own something that will be here forever.
But what if you die with your cold storage in your coffin and your seed phrase? Do you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's
Like, what's
Bitcoin.
more?
That's not-
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, what's because listen, gold will become phased out in 10 years.
Well,
right
why
now.
say that?
'Cause
Why
let
would-
me
why would
hold
they-
on.
why would that
Let me
happen?
just finish my fucking statement. Not, sorry, but like, for example, right now there is a price for hamburger beef. For beef all around the world, ground beef has a value, not a perceived value, of value. But Impossible Burger comes through. Lab-driven, cell-grown beef comes through. Now the value of beef doesn't really fucking matter anymore because beef can be made using a fucking microchip in a laboratory. So what if gold and its use cases are replaced by minerals that can be created in a lab, and all of a sudden value and perceived value get mashed up and mixed up in ether and Bitcoin, and everyone it dies.
That hasn't happened. I mean, maybe you can turn platinum into gold, but then you still need the platinum, right? Which is as expensive, sometimes more so than gold. But look, people have been trying to make gold, they call it alchemy. I mean, they have been able to do it.
It's a pseudoscience.
But the reality is there are actually more uses for gold now than there were 100 years ago or 200 years ago. Okay. And there's probably going to be even more uses for gold in the future that we don't even know about because its properties are so unique.
Let me tell you this.
Yes.
I was in London recently. Yesterday. I went to Nusret's restaurant. Do you know Nusret?
No, I
Salt
don't.
Bay.
Okay.
You know Salt Bay. Come on.
Wow. Why am I kind of happy he doesn't?
That's great. He goes like this with salt. Okay. I was at his restaurant. He brought out a giant tomahawk steak covered in gold, brother.
Gold dust?
Yeah.
Do you pay extra for that?
Oh yeah. I was the dumb customer who was like, I want something shiny. I want my food to be shiny. Like that was me. So I feel you. The use cases for gold, you can now eat it regularly. Yeah,
but there are health. I mean, they
helps.
use it in medicine. I mean, there is gold that is used in medicine. They use it for certain procedures. People email me all the time when they encounter new uses for gold, where they didn't even realize gold was used in that way.
Interesting.
And they find out that it is because, again, the properties of gold. I mean, one of the reasons that they use gold for fillings is because when you have gold in your mouth, you're not going to get any kind of disease from it, right? It's a very pure metal, and it's not going to cause you any problems to have it in your mouth. Because people say, well, people are just buying gold because they think it's going to go up. No, they're not. They're buying it to preserve their wealth because gold is an actual commodity. And in an inflationary time period where copper is going up, oil's going up, wheat's going up, everything is going up, it's hard to just buy a bunch of wheat. It's hard to buy a bunch of oil, but it's easy to buy gold. You don't need that much of it. And there are historic relationships between gold and every other commodity. So if paper is losing value and everything is going up and you want to store your wealth so that you can buy stuff in the future, you can store it easily in gold. But also there is a real buyer for gold. There are jewelers who need gold. So if the price of gold drops, jewelers are going to buy gold. Computer chip manufacturers need gold, right? You have an actual end user that needs the metal. And central banks need it as a reserve, as a monetary reserve. It's the only reserve they have that isn't somebody else's liability. They have real gold. But when it comes to Bitcoin, the only buyer is the speculator, right? Mm-hmm. So if the price of Bitcoin starts to fall, there's no one that says, "Oh, Bitcoin is cheap. I need a bunch of Bitcoin for my." Nobody needs it for anything. So it doesn't matter what the price is. If the only reason you want Bitcoin is because it's going up and you think it's going to keep going up, the minute you no longer think it's going to go up, nobody wants it. And when nobody wants it, how do you sell it if you've got it?